What's up YouTube, it's Dirty Dave. In this video, we're going to be comparing the designer notes from Operation Wind Bastion to Burnt Horizon for the defenders. We're going to be comparing the graphs, looking at the patterns and the outliers, and then we're going to go over each operator, trying to explain the position on the graph, and then after that, we're going to look at the feature balancing changes. So let's get started with the video. Comparing the two graphs, we have Operation Wind Bastion to the left and Operation Burnt Horizon to the right. And here we're just going to focus on the outliers. We're not going to go into why their positioning is on the graph. That'll be the next slide. So just outliers and kind of the patterns. So with the outliers, we got Rook, Frost, Valkyrie, Legion, Jaeger over on this graph. Kind of Doc as well over here. Valkyrie again. Bandit off by himself. Here we got the bottom three, Tachanka, Clash, and Castle. Same for both graphs. So not much change other than Clash's win rate goes up by 7%, but it's still -3. Which is pretty bad over here, -3. So with the outliers, Frost made a huge jump, and to be honest, I don't know why. No, nothing really changed. If anything, Frost should have got nerfed because there's a glitch that people were abusing. It's patched now, but people would put bulletproof cams on the Frost trap, and since it's a bulletproof cam, it would block the bullets when people try to vault through a window. And that was during Wind Bastion, not Burnt Horizon, and her win rate increased in Burnt Horizon, so that's pretty wild. And then Rook and Doc dropped dramatically. So Rook is at 3%. Here he's about 1.6, 1.7. So that's he's almost cut in half in win rate. So like a 1.3% drop. And then Doc over here is at like 1.55, 1.6. And then it goes down to negative. So that's like another 1.6% drop. And they did a minor nerf to his MP5, so pretty wild, but we'll go more in depth into that. Jaeger over here, highest pick rate in both graphs. That's because he's a unique operator. You know, his ability, no one can replace him in terms of ability. Smoke is down here as well. He's definitely an outlier as well. Pretty surprising. Smoke is a strong operator, and I don't know, he is difficult to use, so that's probably the reasoning, but he's a strong operator. And here we got the bottom three, Tachanka, Clash, Castle. Castle's a good operator. I just people don't know how to use them for the most part. Tachanka, Clash, these are just bad ops. Tachanka, you know, he's a meme. And then Clash, she can work, but it requires some coordination on the right side. So that's what we mainly want to focus. And Mira as well. Mira and Bandit, two very popular operators and very strong with the negative win rates, but we'll go over that. Alright, now going in depth on each operator. Here I have a table that I compiled with the data of the Burnt Horizon and Wind Bastion graphs, and this is the Wind Bastion, so the current graph. Here at the bottom we have the changes that happened during Wind Bastion going into Burnt Horizon. So let me kind of explain this table real quick. So we have the defenders organized in pick rate, lowest to highest, so started with the lowest. And then these columns, so the left column is going to be the previous, right column is the current. So current's Burnt Horizon, previous Wind Bastion. So these numbers, I'm explaining the shading. So Kapkan's pick rate decrease in Burnt Horizon, so it's going to be shaded gold. Mute's pick rate increase, so it'll be shaded blue. And then the win rates, the seasons don't affect each other. That's just if they had a positive or negative win rate in that season. So negative is red, positive is green. And then my rating is just you know, kind of hard to rate an operator with just one word, but if I say OP, that just means they really need a nerf, and if they're weak or trash, they really need a buff. So let's get to it. So starting with the first operator, Tachanka, all the way at the bottom, and he's trash. It's just that the problem with this ability, his gadget, is that he has to sit still, and the game all about destruction, creating new angles. Tachanka just ends up getting exposed with the environment around him being torn down. And kind of, I guess I want to go over a buff for him real quick. So this is just some images off Google, but I think he has some type of gimbal, some type of stabilizer where he can move around with. So like, I couldn't find exactly what I wanted, but thinking of this, so this would be his tripod planted on the ground, and then this turret would be right here. So what this tripod will allow is just him like to swing left and right, you know, move around a bit. So he's kind of, you know, it doesn't necessarily sit still, so he has a range of movement going side to side, and then maybe standing and crouching. so he can change his head level, something like that. Or if they want to go crazy like Russian minigun, they can let him walk around with his turret, you know, like a lot of people like go Rambo, and he has something like a stabilizer, so he has like 0 recoil, but he probably has to hip fire, like he won't be able to aim, but he's just a big old tank. Make him a 4 armor, 0 speed, and something like that, but just something just real quick. You know, Tachanka, he's trash. He's just a meme. So with Clash did get buffed, so here at the bottom, SMG buff. It went from burst to full auto. They decreased, like, they took away like 1 magazine in total, whatever, and they increased the damage by a bit. It's still the same amount of shots to kill, so this is still 33. It's going to be 4 shots to kill. So that doesn't change much, just in minor situations. So here, her win rate increased a lot. And kind of going to that, she was stronger at the, she was OP at the beginning of One Bastion, and then they nerfed her, and then they buffed her gun. So I don't know why her win rate's so low. I think just part of it is people don't play Clash properly. Like, she's not, even though her win rate is way lower than Tachanka, I think she's still better than Tachanka. It's just people don't use her right. Clash, she needs to be used like an intel op, kind of like Monty, kind of just, you know, not be aggressive, not go for the kill, just play it safe, make sure you have a teammate on your back, you know, covering you, and just get that intel, slow down the attacking team. You know, even though Clash is not a roamer, one of the roamer's priorities is to slow down the attackers, either kill the attackers or slow them down so they have to rush the site with like 10 seconds left or whatever. In Clash, she does that, but she's an anchor, so kind of different, but still slowing down attackers is good. And yeah, I think just I think she still sucks, but she's more niche, works only in specific sites, and people don't know how to use her, so I think that's why she's so low. Capcan and Caviar, I kind of want to go over both of them. So the problem with it's not a problem, but the reason why Capcan's win rate's so high, I think, is because his pick rate is so low. Well, it's not that high, but it's actually positive, because I think he's a weak operator, because his counter is attackers droning. Attackers should be droning. They should be finding those cap cans. They should not be hitting those cap cans. But with this pick rate so low, people don't expect cap cans, so they just sleep on them. They ignore them, and when they're rushing into the site with a couple seconds left, they get wrecked. Pretty simple. And I think that's just so I feel like cap can's kind of underrated because of that. But the thing is, if people start realizing he's underrated and picking him a lot, then he really would become weak, because then people would be, you know, watching for it. So his traps work because people don't look for it. And I think that's why he has a positive win rate. Caviar, similar to things, she did get nerfed pretty decently with her pistol, the Louison. Damage, range, spread, and recoil got nerfed quite a bit. It's still like the same shots to kill, but it's just not as devastating. And with that, it's just I think she's weak. She's my least favorite operator, but it's just the people not droning, and kind of Capcan proves that. Same thing with the low pick rate. It's just people not droning, and then her pick rate decreased by quite a bit, but her win rate not so much, practically the same. I think that's just the Caviar mains sticking with her, because I don't think her pistol nerf wasn't that bad. It just made her more like the other pistols, but still with a knockdown ability. So I don't think she's that bad. I think it's just the Caviar mains stick with her and maintain that win rate. Castle, definitely an underrated operator, 100%. People really don't know how to use him. I don't understand why he's so low. Like, he has a okay pick rate. He's definitely only used on the right situations. He's not like a Jaeger where you can use him on every objective or legion, you know, just specific sites. But a big problem with the people is that they don't know how to use Castle. His gun's not great, and so when you don't know how to use Castle, you're actually hurting your team. The thing with Castle is that he closes doors and makes new ones, and he cuts off lines of sights and kind of keeps you safe. So I think just people not knowing how to use Castle. With Frost, big old jump and no change at all to her. No change. I don't think she doesn't really have like a super hard counter other than just explosives and bullets, and that's just kind of in general. So really, like, no counter got nerfed or anything. I don't know why her win rate increased so much when the pick rate stayed the same. I guess it's just kind of going with people not droning here with Cap and Caviar. They kind of prove that. Not droning. And I think just people getting better. Like, this is a huge change. And I think it's just part of people realizing the usefulness of bulletproof cams, and that Frost has that, and that people just being reckless and people using Frost correctly. Like, a lot of times they get in cheeky spots, like on stairs. Those usually get me. The ones on the windows don't get me. The thing is, people don't place the ones on the windows correctly. Like, if you put 2 frost traps on a window, that's a guaranteed hit if they go through. Thing is, I like to put 1. I like to spread them out as much as possible to increase the chances. And the thing is, when I put a frost trap on a window, I'm also watching that window. So when that person comes through, he has 2 things to worry about, and one of us is going to get it, the frost trap or myself. And I think that's how people should be playing Frost. You know, put them in where people are going to be playing. So it's a 2-on-1 in a way. Now I guess that's just people using her right. Alibi, you know, here rated balance. I think she's actually, her gun's nasty. I think her gadget's weak. Her gun's nasty, and that's what makes her balance. If she had a meh gun, she would probably be weak. But her gun, high fire rate. It's a laser. It's a headshot machine. She's a 3-speed. With impacts and a shotgun pistol for rotations. Her pistols are nasty though. Shotgun pistol for destruction, and then the Kratos, or Kratos, as I like to call it, is pretty nasty as well. So yeah, guns nasty, abilities meh. Cade, super low win rate, and I don't really understand why. A pick rate decrease, win rate increase. I think that's just part of the people. I think why it's so, the win rate, these kind of make sense because people were just taking Cade on the wrong objectives. Like, he's a new operator, let's take Cade, you know, and they're not taking him in the right situations. I think he just mainly works if there's a hatch if there's an objective hatch, you take a Cade. And even then, he's still pretty powerful, but I guess it's just he's pretty easy to counter because you can't really trick with Cade. Only like on Oregon Laundry, that's like the only place I've seen Cade. Yeah, I think that was like the only time I see Cade trick. Other than that, he tries to assist Bandit with Bandit tricking. But a lot of times, people know how to counter Bandit tricking pretty well. So when you take Cade to Bandit trick and it gets countered, you know, you're just waste of a pick. And then when you try to use him on hatches, he's pretty easily countered. I think that's what it is. I just feel like they need to make his gadget charge up faster. So with Cade, he had an SMG buff. Nothing big. It really doesn't affect. Like, I use a shotgun with an ACOG, so that's like a DMR, while the pistol's like a pocket DMR, and I just rather use the big boy DMR than the pocket DMR. The SMG is it is getting buffed again, but that's the feature balance, so we'll go over that later. Now going over Rook. Doc and Rook, the MP5 nerf damage from 27. I got that backwards. 30 to 27. So it decreased. Nerf, and doesn't really change much. Going against a 1 armor, it's gonna be 4 shots to kill. Going against a 2 armor and 3 armor, it'll be an extra shot to kill. Actually, that is quite a bit. Yeah, but the thing is, the P90 is nasty as well because the high fire rate, much higher fire rate, and a much bigger magazine size makes it a headshot machine. I think people are sleeping on the P90. So here we see the pick rate decrease quite a bit. Also with the win rate. This drop is huge. To me, I thought that nerf was pretty dumb, pretty weak. Honestly, I don't know. I still don't believe that nerf should affect that win rate that much. P90 is a good weapon. I guess people need to just try out the P90 then. Or maybe it is people going over to the P90 from the MP5, they're not doing that well. I don't know. I go back and forth between them. I like them both. Yeah, to me, they're pretty equal. I think Rook is still nasty, so I don't know why he dropped so much. Pulse, pretty big change, not in terms of win rate, not in pick rate. Honestly, I don't understand why it jumped so much. I think Pulse is a good operator. Maybe it's just Pulse is not an operator that can use on every objective like most operators are, and I think that's kind of a good thing. And maybe it's just people taking Pulse in the right places. But the thing is, Pulse is an OG operator. He's a legacy operator, so people should be using Pulse correctly by now. Even in Wind Bastion, they should be using him correctly, playing him in the right objectives. So I don't know, like I don't think his IQ's pick rate increased. And then what else would be his counter? That's practically his main counter. So yeah, I don't understand why it was negative in the first place. I think he's a good operator. 3 speed, C4. He can see through the wall, but not shoot you. But you get the point. He's an intel. He's a good operator. I like Pulse. So honestly, I don't understand the jump really. Going over to Mute, slight increase in pick rate, increase in win rate. Beginning of Wind Bastion. So this is like between. This is like the middle of the season from Wind Bastion to middle of the season of Burnt Horizon. And the SMG buff, or the SMG 11 that Mute received, was at the beginning of Wind Bastion, so I do not have it mentioned here. But even then, with that said, the SMG 11 buff that Mute got should be showing here the win rate. I believe the Doki buff, though, he got was mid-season, or was it at the beginning of Burnt Horizon? I think it was at the beginning of Burnt Horizon. So is this win rate due to the Doki counter that Mute got buff with? I kind of said that pretty poorly, but Mute counters Doki be better. I don't think that really changes much, to be honest. I don't understand why. I think he's a good operator. I think he's underpicked for sure. I think he should be used more because droning is such a powerful tool for the attacking team, and he counters that. So he counters a big part of the attacking team, and he should have he should be on the right side of the graph for sure. He should be on the right side. So I guess that's with Mute. Ella, her shotgun's nasty. Ridiculous. Best gun in the game up to 10 meters, maybe even more. Best gun in the game. If I was going with a person, like if I was in a single room, if one other guy was in the same room as me and I had Ella shotgun, rest in peace for that, man. Ella shotgun is ridiculous, and I think that's what this shows, because Ella, she's kind of like the Blackbeard of defense, where she received a lot of nerfs and she's still going strong, and I think it's because of that shotgun, because the majority of the nerfs have been to her SMG, and it just shows that shotgun is nasty. Shotgun, oh man, they need to throw that thing down a volcano. Too strong. Maestro, OP. I think his evil eyes just do too much. They're too strong, they're hard to counter, and they do a lot. You know, they stop drones, thermite charges, Habanas, and give good intel, see through smokes. They do a lot, and he is getting nerfed. So I think his nerf is actually quite that big, but that's in the future balancing changes. So Maestro, he's just a good, and also the LMG with the ACOG, best LMG in the game, has an ACOG as a defender. He's a beast. Maestro is a beast. And then Echo, similar thing. His yokai drones, great intel, denies the plant. Honestly, I don't know why his win rate's so low. I don't think this. I think this considers all the game modes when it comes to Echo and Bomb. He's pretty clutch. He's very, very clutch. So I think that would, like, if it was strictly Bomb, his win rate would be pretty high. Echo is just, his drones do a lot too. A lot of intel, practically invisible. You know, ACOG as a defender. He's a really good op. And yeah, he does a little bit too much as well. Intel, deniability. Usually you get one, not both. And he gets both. Smoke's a strong operator. For the most part in professional play, Smoke is the most used defender. He's usually top two most popular defender. And here we see him. His pick rate is actually, I guess, average. But his win rate's so low, and I think the only thing that can make sense of that is just he's hard to use. The timing, a lot of times people waste their smokes way too early and then don't use it. A lot of times people use their smokes too early, or sometimes they don't use their smokes because they think I have to save it for the last 30 seconds, and so they save them, but they don't use them in the situation where they're about to die. Like maybe if they use that 1 or 2 smokes to stay alive for the end of the round, you know, that would have been okay. But since they decided to save them, they actually ended up dying middle of the round. So they kind of wasted them. So it's just smoke. It's kind of a balance. It definitely requires experience. SMG 11 is difficult to use. And then using the shotgun for angles and remodeling, rotations, that kind of just takes experience. But smoke's a great op. I don't understand why he's so low. Mozzie, not much to say since you can't really compare him last season. I think he's a good op. I like Mozzie, and his win rate I think is accurate. Not much I can say since he wasn't here last season. Vigil, in my opinion, the best dedicated roamer. His pick or his win rate and pick rate slightly increased. Not much I can really say about that, but I think it'll get even better because a lot of the attackers are getting nerfed. A lot of these things, a lot of nerfs happening. Not much buffs, but a lot of nerfs where to balance things out. And a lot of the OP Cancer Rush attackers that do screw over Vigil are getting nerfed. So I think Vigil's win rate will go up. And he just good guns. His guns are nasty. 3-speed impacts, nasty. Then his ability keeps him from drones. Good up. Mira though, Mira is surprising because Mira on some objectives she's the best defender in the game. You know, on some maps she's the best defender. And the reason, and I think I know why her win rate is low or negative, is because people are just used to her. Was it Twitch? Let's go back on the graph. I know Twitch is the most picked, but here, Twitch is the most picked attacker, and Twitch is a counter to Mira. Where we at? Here we are. And yeah, Twitch most picked attackers, a counter to Mira, and then people just figured out how to play against Mira. You know, they take Cabana counter, smokes to push the wall, a lot of ways to counter Mira, and I think just people got used to it. Valkyrie, great operator, great intel, very strong. You know, intel, to me this shows how knowledge is power. Valkyrie is a great intel operator. C4s, that she has a C4 to take advantage of that intel, just shows that she's a great op. And intel's powerful. Yeah, not much to say. And then yeah, Valkyrie's my favorite defender. Bandit, kind of similar thing to Mira. A lot of people take Bandit to Bandit trick, and he's just real good. Good gun, 3-speed C4 as well, or barbed wire. Both nice. It's just people will learn how to counter Bandit trick, and a lot of times people take Bandit to Bandit trick, or sometimes just to frag out. But you know, you can't really Bandit trick with Bandit no more. People, they figured it out how to beat it, and I think that's why his win rate's negative. Going with Doc, his thing drops so much. Honestly, I don't understand that big of a drop. A 1.7 drop, that blows my mind. It shouldn't be that big with that minor change to Doc and that huge of a win rate. It blows my mind. Honestly, I don't understand it. I can't explain it. I think it's ridiculous. I don't know what happened. I think the P90 and the MP5 are both good guns for a defender. Blows my mind. Legion's OP, does too much, too versatile, impacts for rotation. His goo mines are traps, but also intel. He's just OP, he's too good, and he is getting nerfed. Here we see the goo mines. Per tick rate, so 8-4, so I get kind of half. I think what makes his goo mines really strong, not only are they transparent, but also is that initial 10 damage when you first hit that. I think they should take that away and just make it, probably increase the per tick damage back to 8 or to 10 and take away that initial damage. So if you pull the goo mine out right away, you don't take any damage, but you still get that slowdown effect and whatnot and the noise that gives you away. But if you keep it in, you're gonna be hurting. So I feel like just a lot of times, like, you know, you're trying to go into the round trying to clutch and then just boom, die because you're low on health, and Legion Mine doesn't give you a chance. You know, if you didn't take that initial damage, you have like that extra second or two to get a shot off and maybe clutch the round before you died to the mine. I think Legion's too good. He's too easy to clutch with. Jaeger, right here, highest pick rate, positive win rate. Just really the only explanation in it is that Jaeger's ability is unique. You know, Jaeger's not a trapper. He's not intel. You know, he's not, I guess you can say he's denial, but you know, he's not a typical trapper or intel type of operator. And good gun, 3 speed, barbed wire, and just his ADS, his magpies. You know, they're countering a lot of good things. Smokes for glass, Ying's candelas, grenades. You know, he counters a lot of good things for the attacking team, and he's the only one who does it, so that's why his pick rate's so high. I don't think they should nerf Jaeger. I think they just need to make another Jaeger, you know? Kind of adopt to his Rook or whatever, or a Bandit to his Mute. Something like that. I don't think they should nerf Jaeger. Maybe his gun a bit. Maybe his gun. Maybe his speed. Because he is a gunner. He is a gunner, and his ability is great. You know, good guns and good ability. Great ability, great gun. You know, usually it's a great ability and bad gun, or great gun and bad ability. Kind of going with Alibi. And he has both. So now we're going, okay, that's the Chunka. Now we're going to the future balancing changes. So here, Cade, to me, nothing much changes. I'm still going to be using the shotgun. So here, his SMG gets buffed by damage. In terms of killing, shots to kill, it does improve against higher armor. It's still a 4-shot kill against a 1 armor at max range, but I guess at the farther ranges against higher armor, his AUG is going to be better. And then they nerfed his shotgun for 1 less magazine. That's not a biggie. That's not a biggie at all. I'm still going to be using the shotgun, to be honest. Maybe his SMG is probably going to be decent, but you know, I like that DMR. Going with Maestro, huge nerf to Maestro because his counter is Twitch. So Evil Eyes will be opened by Thatcher's EMP grenades or Twitch's shock drones. And Twitch is the most picked attacker. And Twitch counters Maestro so hard. Like, she has 2 drones, and one of those drones can counter both of Maestro's Evil Eyes easily. No risk at all. No risk at all. Huge counter, Maestro. Huge nerf. I think his pick rate will be going down. And then EMP, Thatcher, another popular operator. I think this is a huge nerf to Maestro. I think he's still a good op. Twitch is going to be picked more. I think Twitch 100% needs a nerf. Twitch needs a nerf because of this. She needs a nerf. She's too good. But Maestro needed a nerf as well. But the thing is, you can't make the most popular attacker. You can't give the most popular attacker a huge buff by countering one of the strongest defenders. You know, that was kind of the wrong balancing to do there, in my opinion. Next up is Echo. Small nerf to Echo. IQ can now detect Echo when he's using his PDA. That means controlling his yokai drone. And that's going to definitely make IQ stronger. IQ already counters Echo, but now even more. She's going to be killing him instead of his drone. So pretty good buff to IQ. And yeah, IQ pick rate will be going up. Echo, not so much. His pick rate will be going down, obviously, but I don't think his win rate will be changing much because people play Echo in the safe place already, so I don't think it'll hurt him too much. It's just IQ will be able to figure out where Echo is, not necessarily kill him. And I think, and that's it. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's all the future balancing changes coming next season, I believe. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you want more Dirty Dave, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.